So Scott, I mean, I guess what I'm wondering. Oh, so we have Scott here. Who you've probably seen in some other videos. We're buddies. We met at the Oxbow. Well, I guess we kind of chatted online. Ooh, Princess Wave. I like it. We chatted online a little
Yeah.
bit, and then we met at the Oxbow ride um,
Yep.
2 years ago, and had a great time. Then we rode again at the Oxbow, and then we went to Moab. Is that the only times we've hung out? I feel like we've hung out more.
It's crazy. It feels like we've hung out a lot more than that, but I think we've only hung out, I think, 3 times. That's it.
I guess that's what happens when you live 8 hours away.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like we've hung out more because you've like ridden with Dan, and he lives
hmm
closer,
Yeah.
and I don't know why that feels like I have hung out with you. Anyways, um, so Scott just started Scotty G Speed Shop, and I was gonna have your sticker here, but I forgot. Um, which is super cool. Scott built
Okay.
some sick stuff. We were just talking about the car that he's driving right now. So I was just curious, like growing up, was that like a thing that happened, or you just got into it? How'd you get into like modifying, building stuff?
Wow. Yeah. S- Modifying anything has always been a part of my life.
Yeah.
When I was really little, I think I was 3 years old. My parents had bought me one of those little radio flyer trikes. It has a
Okay.
seat, and then you pedal with your feet, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, but you can
And
like stand on
so,
the back of it, right?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, so they bought me that, and I rode it around for a little bit, and then they went and did some stuff. And this was for my birthday. We went and did some stuff in the kitchen. They came back, and I was taking it apart with the tools that they had left there at 3 years old.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
that really kind of launched me into kind of like the next portion of I guess all of my life, but being huge into building cars, building trucks, and whatnot. My dad was really big into mechanics. Um, when I was born, he had bought a 1964 Corvette, and that Corvette, its entire life has always been a race car, and he wanted to keep that car as a race car. So for the entire life of that car, that's always been a race car. And so every single day I'd get up, I'd go out to the shop with him. We'd work on the race car. We'd build the snowmobiles. I started snowmobiling when I was about 18 months old. So I had to learn how to work on these things. So
Well, and back then you had to work on
really,
sleds a lot more than you do now.
yes, absolutely. Well, to keep them running, yes. For fixing stuff that you did to them while you're out riding, no. I think a lot of the parts nowadays are so lightweight that they tend to break a lot easier. Back
Yeah.
then, yeah, like a 500 cc sled weighed 700 pounds. I mean, you weren't getting off the trail, so
Right.
they
Yeah,
were
you
they
weren't
were lead
running tree
sleds.
lines and
Yep.
hopping logs and stuff like we are now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, so that's awesome. So you just kind of like as a kid, just with your dad out doing stuff. Um,
Yeah.
what what was like your first? I mean, other than your trike, what was like the first build you were proud of, like excited about?
Oh man. That's a good question. I think probably my first car.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I was really proud of that thing. So, when I was about 13 years old, we were kind of starting to. I, I grew up in the country, so I learned how to drive really early.
yeah,
Learned how to back up trailers and all that good stuff.
yeah,
And one of the big things that I wanted, because just a few years from being 13, I was going to be driving, so I really wanted to have a pickup truck.
yeah,
And so I worked super hard for it, and made a deal that both my dad and my mom, they were divorced at that point in time. They were going to pitch a third in, but I had to work in order to get it.
Yeah.
a truck. So we actually and we did a bunch of reads on a bunch of different trucks, and I came up and found that a Dodge Dakota, 1997 Dodge Dakota, was going to be uh, probably the best vehicle for me at that particular point in time. It was enough to tow snowmobiles. I could put a dirt bike, a couple dirt bikes in the back. I could camp out of it, do all kinds of stuff. And when I finally bought the truck, it was like the biggest thing in the entire world. I was so unbelievably happy. And then from there, I started modifying it. So I put on a Rancho 4.5 inch lift, put some 33-inch tires on it, did, exhaust and intake, and, all the goofy stuff. And then, of course, when you're 16, you got to have the loudest, biggest, coolest sound system that you could stuff in the back of one of
Wait,
those
was it
things.
single
So,
cab or
uh,
extended cab?
so it was extended cab, so I
Okay.
could put some huge subs in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, but I love that thing, and I drove that for probably 5 years, 6 years. Put like 150,000 miles on it. I just absolutely loved it, and really that was where all my growing up memories, like driving memories and exploring with my friends, and it was all high school. Like that was the truck that we were involved in.
Yeah.
It was always so much fun. We drove
What year
all
was
over the
it?
place. A 97, 1997.
97.
It was, yeah, it was
Geez, Mr.
silver.
New Car. I had a 91 or 92. 92 S10.
Hey, you had a pickup truck,
Oh yeah.
you know?
I think
They're
I've always had
awesome.
trucks except for like Lindsay's had cars, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is cool. Um so like out of all this cuz I mean cars, trucks, dirt bikes, snowmobiles,
Mhm.
am I missing anything? You're not really into side by sides. I mean, I've seen you have an ArcticFX four-wheeler in some of your
I-
videos. I'm
yep.
guessing that's just for
Yep.
plowing, but
Yeah. I've done a
um
little backcountry with it, but
okay.
mostly plowing.
What's so as of right now, build that you still have, don't have, what's the one you're most proud of?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think the build that I've been most proud of, that I've loved doing it from day one, uh, and I take a lot of pride in, is my Cherokee.
Yeah,
Um,
oh, that's sweet.
I
And you have some videos on that.
Yeah, yep. So I have a '99 Cherokee, frameless and shameless. Oh yeah, but it's the original XJ with the 4 liter in it, and I had an XJ before that it was originally my brother's, and he was coming back from a Dave Matthews concert and had a little had some things that were involved with Dave Matthews and smoke and stuff
Okay.
like that. He fell asleep at the wheel, and he actually
Oh,
rolled. Yeah, yeah. He rolled his Jeep, and how he described it, he goes, "Yeah." So I woke up and I was upside down going down the road, and all I saw was an entire fireworks show happening in front of me.
oh
So I'm
gosh.
like, "Dude, like, are you kidding?" He's like, "Yeah." So I woke up and I was upside down. So we had taken that, cut the top off, made it into kind of a tube chassis rock crawler. It was really cool,
Yeah.
but I wanted to have a really good base uh, for a Jeep, and so ended up finding a '99 and bought it, and really started expanding out on what um, what I could do with it. And so I did a bunch of research on different suspension lifts, and I wanted to keep it streetable because the goal for it wasn't necessarily for extreme off-roading. It was more for, hey, I'm going to hop in it. I'm going to do a couple trails. I might go over some really cool passes and make it more like more of an extreme overland rig than just a four-wheeling rig. And so, of course, I settled with a Rusty's off-road 8.5 inch lift kit.
Sick.
Um, and so it's four linked. I have um, the competition version of it, and then 1 ton steering underneath it, and then I custom built bumpers, front and rear tire carrier, and just been enjoying it just a lot. Really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. So, and I don't drive it very often just because, I'm usually at work or driving somewhere.
Yeah.
So
So, like, have you overlanded in it?
I have not. And one of the reasons why I haven't overlanded in it yet is
Oh,
because
because
I
you
haven't
own a
had.
bed at home. Interesting. Weird. No, just
I
kidding.
do. I do own a bed at home. I own a couple beds at home, and
Well,
they're
it's like
comfortable.
we talk about that all the time. Like, oh, we should go camping. I'm like, we could, or we could just go out in the mountains and come back and sleep in our own beds.
Right. Yeah.
That being said,
You
I
know,
think I am gonna do some overlanding here soon. But
fantastic. Now, are you thinking about building something yourself?
oh, I think about it all the time. I think right now I I'm more like power sports stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to build something like that. But I just I don't know. I'm so involved in snowmobiles and
Mm.
side by sides and dirt bikes and lawnmowers
Yeah.
that
Lawnmowers.
that
Yep.
I just I don't know. It's hard to take time to build something else, but I would love to. I think it's super cool. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the coolest things that I've been thinking about is whenever you do any kind of power sports thing, it doesn't matter if it's building a truck or building a Jeep, building a snowmobile, or um, side by side. It doesn't matter. Dirt bikes for me are a huge deal. It's not always just about the end goal. It's about that process and
yeah,
the journey with these things. So, it's like, um, just getting up to the mountains or going out to the dunes or whatever it may be. Like you're doing the exploring action, and so, you know, your your vehicle or your mode of transportation is going to change as you change as a person, but the overall experience is always going to be there.
yeah. I
It's a
like that.
really cool thing.
I like that. That's a good. It's a good thought quote. I don't know what to call that. I like it though. um, are you the type of guy that, like me, I get very emotionally attached to like my things, like my snowmobiles or dirt bikes or less so lately, but there's some of them that I'm like very emotionally attached to. What do you like? Do you care or
Yeah.
not care?
I have two prime examples of being emotionally attached.
Yeah,
So, I'm massively emotionally attached to my stuff, and I think it's because it builds memories with every single thing that I do.
yeah,
Um, uh, so when I was 18, so little backstory on this is that I was adopted as when I was 6 weeks old, and so the father that taught me a lot of the mechanics side stuff, he was my adoptive dad. He wasn't my birth dad. But when I was 18, I actually ended up um, meeting my birth dad. And ironically, he was super into all kinds of vehicles and, had ATVs and he had a dirt bike and he had all kinds of cool stuff. It was in, he had, one thing I never got into was boating, but he had a boat and we ended up doing some stuff with that. But one of the things that he wanted to do after he met me is he proposed the project. He goes, "Hey, do you wanna build a car together?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a really cool deal." And at that point, I was kind of transitioning different things in my life. I was going to a different school, and I actually moved in with him for
about 18 months. And so we started building a car together. And we built a 1927 Model T pickup truck roadster.
Nice.
And, um, it was a really cool project. It had a big block V8 in it, had the 4.9 inch rear end in it. Um, we built the frame from scratch. It was 2 by 4 inch box steel, 3/16 inch wall, heavy stuff. Did all the cross members, built we had a body for it, but started accumulating parts. And the I actually ended up moving away from the house, and because I was kind of on a my career path now of what I'm doing, and um, moved into my new place. And this is, oh gosh, probably I started the car build about 20 years ago, and then um, I really didn't do much work to it for probably about 15 years. Um, and the reason was because I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the space, I didn't have the knowledge to do a lot of that stuff at that point in time. Fast forward to now, and I think I could have a much better outcome.
Right.
But I actually ended up letting the car go, to a really good home, to a guy who wanted to continue the build. I sold it for basically a very reasonable price for both of us. And I the deal was is that I was going to deliver it to his house, and it's about an hour drive. So I got to load it up on my trailer, and on the way up there, like, I'm going through all these emotions. Like, what is happening? Like, why am I
Yeah.
doing this? Like, at one point, like, I was all teared up, and I'm like sitting at a stoplight, and I'm like, wow, what is happening? Like, got the quivering lip, and I'm like, dude, I'm a mess. And I think a big part of it was because I built so many memories around that, and I was becoming so emotionally invested into it. And I think it was a really good thing, um, to become emotionally invested into it. And then also to kind of almost go through the grieving process, because it allows me to go and do other things.
Yeah.
And so, and ironically, I took that chunk of money from that car and stuffed it right into a 2024 Ski-Doo Turbo. So, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, so these memories are going to be a part of this, and now we're gonna
Sure.
rock and roll. So, yeah, and then my previous truck, same kind of deal. I put 300,000 miles on this old Duramax, and I mean, literally drove all over the United States in this thing. And, I picked up snowmobiles in Wisconsin with my best friend at the time. And it was like a 52 hour straight nonstop road trip from when we left Colorado, go all the way up to like Minnesota and cross over and come back. And, just built so many cool memories. And ironically, the guy I sold that truck to lives down in Arizona and is actually really good friends with my best friend now, Mark
Oh, yeah.
Thomas. And yeah, and so I every time I go to Arizona in October, November, I see the truck, and the owner's always like, "Hey man, you want to take it for a drive?" And I'm like, "I love seeing it. No, I'll let you keep moving forward with it." So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one was really hard. It was like a gloomy day when I let it go. It was like driving out of my driveway, and like I'm just standing there, and I'm like, this feels so wrong. It just feels so bad. So, what about you? I mean, are you emotionally attached to stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I mean, not every, like, my last sled, I didn't get attached. Well, a little bit, but not much because I knew I was getting rid of it. Um, but yeah, um, I still have my first snowmobile. Uh, I don't have my second one, but that was like a trash one that somebody gave me. I have my third one, and then almost all of them except for two others.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, two others. See, I get attached to them. I have a hard time selling stuff. I can sell side by sides easier than I can snowmobiles because they take up so much space.
Mm.
But yeah, no, yeah, I think like you're talking about like the working on them. You just get so involved in it, and you're like, oh wait, I know all of this thing's problems.
Yep. Yeah, and you're like, that scar right there is from that sled.
Right.
That one's from that vehicle. You're just
No
like
kidding, right?
blood, sweat, and tears, and you're like, I'm not gonna let you go.
Yeah.
So
So recently, like watching your YouTube channel, I've seen you've built sleds, dirt bikes, trucks, jeeps, cars, um, another truck. Like, what's your favorite? Like right now, if you had to pick, what's your favorite build that you or like? What do you like building right now? Like, if you're to go home or go to the shop, start working on something that you want to right now, what would it be?
oh man. You know, so I think one of the biggest things that I've been working on recently, it's actually been like a 6 week project. Um ran into a few issues and then kind of worked through it. It was a wildland like brush truck, like a
Yeah,
firefighting truck. And that thing, I've only released I think 2 videos. I have 5 total videos.
yeah.
Actually
I've watched
tomorrow
all of them. They're awesome. Yeah,
and then tomorrow the customer is coming to pick it up.
yeah,
And I've been so busy with like life and I haven't been able to release any of the videos, and I really want to get those videos out there because it's such a cool project.
yeah.
And I wish that it wasn't done. I've
So
had so much fun working on it. Like even yesterday, it was completed, and I'm sitting there in my shop, and I'm like, what else could I build for it that I'm not going to charge the customer?
yeah,
And so I built this really cool. It's like um uh it's a tray with a little divider, and it's all made out of aluminum. Uh and it's all welded up in aluminum. I'm getting better at TIG welding, which has been
yeah.
fantastic.
That's
This
awesome.
project really pushed me to it, but it's for like all of like the adapters and nozzles and stuff that the truck had. And so I went ahead and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna build this for him just as, a go ahead. So yeah, it was just really, really cool
Yeah.
to do that. So um I may have to change out um my headset
Oh yeah.
because I am
Is it dying?
here. Yeah.
That's all right. I'm gonna try to
All right.
figure out how to
There
get
we
it.
go.
So, oh,
Yeah.
wait. How do we do this?
How do we do this?
Oh, I'm
I'm
gone.
almost done. Can you hear me still?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, that's cool. So would you ever build like an old mod sled?
Yes.
I mean, I know
Absolutely.
you have your cat, right?
Yeah.
The
So
six.
I have 3 sleds right now. I got a 2005 Arctic M7 with that M8 motor in it.
Yep.
Um, that thing's wild. Um, and I actually have some plans, not for it, but with it, um, that I'll get to here in just a little bit.
Okay.
But
Are we gonna ride old sleds this year, Scott?
that's the hope. That is certainly the hope.
I gotta get mine
Um,
done.
right? Yeah. So I have a 2015 Ski-Doo Summit, and
Is that
that
kind of your
thing's
backup sled or what?
yes, it has been. I blew up the motor about 3 years ago, and then the guy that worked on it just absolutely destroyed the motor. He didn't know what he was doing, and a lot of people had issues with him, and so I had to basically threaten to take him to court because he refused to work on it properly, and I didn't want to deal with it, so I actually had to rebuild the motor myself.
Oh, jeez.
Um, and the thing runs great, it runs perfect. But yeah, so I have that, and then obviously I have my 24 Ski-Doo Turbo. Um, and one of the things that I'm just kind of looking into doing is making my Arctic more of a mod sled. Um, Go back with changing out to twins, trying to do some lightweight stuff on it, um, and really just kind of step it up into kind of a more moddy sled, old school
Yeah.
mod sled. And then I want to take that my old Ski-Doo, my 2015, and I'm going to put it on the market, and I want to get a really good. When I say backup sled, I want to get a Gen 5 Ski-Doo Turbo backup sled. So I'll have a Gen 5 Ski-Doo backup to my Gen 5 Ski-Doo back or my main sled, but I'm going to have a 154. So I want to have a shorter track. I want to have at least one really good backup sled, and then also like if somebody I don't ride with on very often wants to fly out, they can fly with me or fly out here and ride with me and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's not going to be to the extreme build that I have on my current um, big sled. So,
Well, you
so
can
of
buy
course,
my sled next year. Next end of next season, you can buy my sled.
end of next season, but I want it this season.
That's true. That's true, dude. You can find such good deals right now.
Yeah, yep. So that's kind of the point right now is like we're getting in close to season. I want to at least get a good backup sled and do
I
clutching and stuff like that. So
I keep thinking about, well, the guy at the dealer's like, you can do a 147 build, and I was like, oh, I don't love the free ride, and he's like, no, 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 just the track's pretty cheap. Just for your sled, have rails and a track. I was like, oh, that could be
mm,
kind of fun. But then I started thinking, like, wait, in the spring, I feel like turbos are kind of a bummer because they heat soak and you don't get all of it out. And you don't need it because you can kind of go anywhere and it's more fun to. Anyways, so
yep,
I think
100%.
instead I'm trying to find a Yamaha Bravo to ride in the spring.
Yeah,
I just go the complete opposite direction.
I grew up on a Yamaha Bravo. And those things are, and they got the huge like ape hangers, so you're
Yeah,
like
they're like
running around. Yep, yep, dude.
two are they 250s?
Yep,
I want one.
yeah,
I want it pretty bad actually.
yeah. I have to redo my shop so that I can fit more stuff into it.
You gotta stack stuff. Get some shelves and stack it.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah. Okay. So that I mean, so sled builds. You want to mod your cat out. Get another G5.
yep,
Dude, I will say the 26 rode so much better than my 23. It was so
really,
much easier to ride. I think because they narrowed it up.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'll
yeah.
have to, I'll have to see what's out there. I know there's some companies out there uh that are selling some last year models for insanely cheap. So
Oh
I may
yeah. Yeah.
may pull the trigger on something like that.
Yeah. So dirt biking, did you do that with your dad? Or how did you get into that?
Yes. So when I was 5 years old, my dad bought me a PW50, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the entire world. And so I had this little open face helmet and these. And it was uh, JT design shoulder pads. So I had those and some little, hiking boots and whatnot. And I started riding around. And my dad had always been involved in riding dirt bikes. And then my two stepbrothers at the time they were actually starting to race motocross. And so when they knew that I was getting a dirt bike, they're like, "We're gonna make you a cool little track up by the driveway." And what they didn't plan for was that the track was really cool. It had like a lot of like cool little bumps. Um, and there was a little jump they made. But the jump, what you do is you jump and then you'd slam on the brakes and make a left-hand turn and then go down this long little straightaway. Well, if you didn't slam on the brakes and make the turn, there was a barbed wire fence right there. So 5 years old, go mobbing over this little jump, jumped it right into the barbed wire fence. So yeah, and then yeah, I got up, ran in. I had a bunch of cactus in my rear end, and my dad had to put me back together. And
Oh, jeez.
I was riding at the end of the day, so I had a little big old cut on my forehead and one on my chest, and it was an ordeal. But yeah, I from that point on, I knew I was destined to be on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And you build out your dirt bikes quite a bit, right? Like you do big builds on them.
yeah,
Like my
um,
dirt bike is stock. Like I have nothing. I put steg pegs on it
yeah. I
and a handlebar bag.
yep,
That's
yeah.
it.
Two necessities. I think I have mental illness because I can't leave anything stock. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like a legit, it's a problem for me. I've never owned anything that has remained stock. I've always had to modify it. I think it's just making it your own. Yeah, I when I got my new dirt bike, um, it it required a lot of work to get it up to what I wanted it to do. So, new lights, new headlight turn signals. My bike is street legal, so I had to keep the turn signals, but big fuel tank, all the power modifiers, changing gears, the graphics. I'm you name it, it was done on it. And it I knew buying the bike that I needed to spend a lot of time, um, you know, basically building it out from there on. And it was just making it so it was a lot more reliable for me in the backcountry. And, I don't, a lot of times I do ride by myself. Um, a video that I'll be releasing is my birthday video, from 3 weeks ago. And just like one day by myself went out and did 70 miles of single track. So,
That's awesome. Yeah.
I don't, I do a lot of stuff by myself, because I work an unusual schedule. So that was like a Thursday, and I was just like, you know what? Or no, maybe it was a Tuesday. Like, I'm going riding today. It's my birthday. I'm going to take the day off. I left the firehouse. I left my truck at the firehouse and rode from the firehouse up to
That's,
go ride. So,
that's awesome.
yeah.
For some reason, well, I feel like there's a big difference like snowmobiling alone and dirt biking alone. So I feel like dirt biking alone, like if something happens, you're not gonna freeze to death waiting for help to come. Or snowmobiling, you will. Could higher chance of it.
I would absolutely agree.
I
Um,
don't, and I feel like there's only like you're not just off wherever. You're like on a trail, so like eventually they'll find you. I don't know.
yeah. Um, no, you're absolutely correct. There's a higher level of risk, um, when you're out snowmobiling. You are getting into places that are very inaccessible for, I would say, the vast majority of people. And the reason is that traveling over snow, is in general and generally way more difficult, for someone, say, to go walk through it. I want to see you go hiking in snow.
Right.
That's why I
Oh,
invented
yeah.
snowshoes.
That's a. I feel really comfortable riding up by me because I know a bunch of the guys on the search and rescue. I'm like, oh, Porter can come get me wherever I'm at.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not worried
Yeah,
about it.
yep, yeah. Um, yeah, if you're riding dirt bikes by yourself, there is definitely a lot less risk, in 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 the sense of being able to get to you. Um, I actually do think that I tend to ride harder on a dirt bike than I do a snowmobile, and I think the reason is because um, you're not. Yes, you are having to make split second decisions, but you're not having to do it in a way of, if I lose my sled down this hill, how am I going to be able to get out? It's more like, okay, I just ran off the trail on a dirt bike, and so I tend to speed up quite a bit more on a dirt bike than I do on a snowmobile, especially just picking my way through the forest. So there's a higher level of risk with just general speed, but the accessibility, if something major was to happen, then your chances of getting someone in the backcountry are much easier during the summer than they are in the winter.
Yeah. Um, and you still have your old bike, right?
I do.
Your,
Yep.
would you ever like do like retro bikes interest you at all?
Um, yes, I always find that old school motorcycles are way cool. I'd love to get myself like a 96 CR 500,
Right.
something that just an absolute monster. Um, or a bike with some serious history, and I think that would be really cool to have. There's some old school, the Bull Tacos or the Makos. Those are
Yeah.
they don't make those anymore.
Right.
Where they have, the rear suspension with the two shocks. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that would just be so
Yeah.
cool.
The exhaust pipe runs underneath the bike the whole way. I have
Yeah.
I have a buddy that's way into like retro bikes. He's like me with sleds, but he's got old bikes, and he's just
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 70s, 80 tons of 70s, 80s bikes, and he goes to all
Yeah.
these vintage races and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. That's way cool.
yeah. I lately my desire to build one has gotten a lot higher.
Yes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think I'm
Excellent.
like just a little guy, like a little 125 or something, just cruise around the mountains in.
I will have to I have a picture somewhere and I'm gonna have to find it. Uh I think I was maybe 19 or 20 years old, and I had a buddy who had a bunch of those old school vintage, the Honda Trail 90s, the 70s, those things.
Yeah,
And he had a Trail 70 that the motor was seized up on it, and so he got it, and brought it over to my house. And he's like, "Hey, let's build this thing out." And I'm like, "Okay, well, there's no motor." And he goes, "Oh, wait." And so he walks to the back of his truck and he pulls out like a 1999 RM 125 two-stroke motor for it. And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me."
oh
And
man,
it was,
on
it
a Trail
was
70, because those
on a
are like the
Trail
weird one
70.
that has like the tube that comes down from the triple clamp, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
Dude, it was the worst idea possible. And we got the thing running, and it was out of control. There was just no point. I mean, we couldn't ride it. It
yeah,
just, you flip the throttle and you're on the ground. I mean, it was just out of control.
that's funny.
You know.
That's awesome. Yeah, so is there like if you had to pick between building a snowmobile or a dirt bike, is there one that you would pick over the other? Or are they pretty close?
Ooh, I think they're both really close. I think they're so vastly different, yet they're very similar. It's basically like the same type of sport, but just in two completely different seasons. So you have a lot of the same concepts. Like if you want to change out the track on your sled, it's like changing tires on a dirt bike, or
Right.
re-gearing is like kind of re-clutching. Um, you know, eh, they're so similar. Even with exhaust, or it's like when I put a tuner on my sled, um, and tuned it, I it was just so easy compared to, I mean, and same with my dirt bike. I have the aftermarket ECU from Takamoto on my dirt bike, and it was just plug and play, and I hooked it up to my phone, and I'm like, oh well, I want that that tune, and so um, I think if you were like a single sport person, I think you'd be so dialed in on doing that. But I think I mean, like yourself, we're so multifaceted in so many different areas that it's kind of hard to be like, you know what, I want to for the rest of forever, I just want to build snowmobiles.
Right. Yeah. I think that would be hard to pin yourself down to one thing.
Yeah.
Um, what like is there another dirt bike that you would want to build? Or do you love yours? You don't want another like if like say money wasn't an option or option. Money wasn't an object. Is that the right way of saying it? Like get
Yeah.
all the money you
Know what
wanted
you're saying?
and you're gonna build a dirt bike. Would you just like, nah, I actually have the one I want, or would you want to build like a 300 to be like me?
Oh, you know, I have two of them actually that I would want
Really?
to build. Yeah. Um, so I said Bull Taco and Mako from
Yeah.
back in the day. Mako actually has, you can buy 500cc motors, and they actually came out with it's called the T-Rex, but it's the T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it is a 700cc two-stroke.
Wow.
It
Seven.
is it is a monster.
So
Like
would
the
that just be
jugs
like a
on it are
dude's
like,
bike or what?
dude, I don't even know. I don't know what it would be used for. I don't know if it would be, you know, uh dunes, or maybe it's a desert bike.
Oh
Just
yeah, yeah,
something with some, just, you see, just haul.
yeah.
Um I think that would be a really cool build. I think that would be I think that would be kind of in the top of my list of building out something. Um and then I'd really want to build an amazing, either like semi dual sport or more adventure bike.
Ooh
Um
yeah. I think about those a lot lately.
yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of a side story. Sorry, I keep squirreling. I'm all over
No,
the
you're
place
great,
on
dude.
this.
Yeah.
But I wrote it was a 2006, I think it was. It was my dad's KTM, but it was the Adventure 950, and so that had the LC8 motor in it, and it builds like, I know it doesn't sound crazy, but like 117 horsepower or something like that.
Well, but like
Oh, when you
my bike's like 40 maybe, right?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like my dirt bike is, I think it's about 68, 69 horsepower,
Yeah.
and it feels like it's a lot, but that thing had like 117 horsepower on this adventure. It was big V twin. They sound like Ducatis, but
Yeah.
it was so much fun to ride. Well, I went up to Sturgis back in the late, like 20, like probably 2010, 2011 on it.
Okay.
Um, and rode from Colorado all the way to Sturgis. And I had a buddy that rode with me, and he was riding this Yamaha. It was a V Star, so it was a 650cc shaft driven. Like it, it was slow. It was a bobber, and he was hunched over the whole entire time. So, like on an adventure bike, you're standing up, like you're very upright. But it was like he had to reach so far over, and he was like, way over the handlebars. In like the first hour, he couldn't, like his butt was numb, his back was hurting, his arms were numb, and it took us forever to get up there. But so I rode that KTM up there in Sturgis, and you get like 600,000 people that go up to Sturgis every
Right.
year, and there are so many bikes. But then if you like walk down Main Street, like Sturgis or Deadwood, or one of those
What a cool
uh
name for a town, Deadwood.
Deadwood, yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely. Or any one of those, and you can see the same Harley 2 bikes down from you, and there are a million of those same types of bikes. Oh, that's a super rare, 2012, street glide with 103, they go down the whole route, and you're like, yeah, but isn't that one too, or that one, or that? There's just so many of them because
Right.
that's like the hot spot for them. So we pull in the Sturgis, and I'm riding this KTM, and I pull in, and it was like I was a celebrity. So many people would stop and look at me, and they're like, "What is that thing?" I'm like, "It's just an adventure bike." And I had more people compliment that bike than any other bike there. It was so
Huh.
fun, but
Is
all
that
the
the one
way
that
up.
has like the weird like headlight
Hmm.
strip on the front?
Yeah, yeah. That it that is such a fun bike, and I know they've come out with they got rid of the 950 and went to the 990 that went fuel injection. The 950 was actually still carbureted, which was kind of funny. And then they got rid of that bike and they went to um, there was like a 1090, 1190, 1290, 1390, and then they were like those are like the super adventure bikes, and then they went to the smaller version, which is like they have a 390, which was a really kind of a goofy concept, but it was because it really wasn't big enough for most riders.
Yeah.
um and one of my cohorts actually bought a 390, and I'm like, I walked up to it and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that thing's kind of small. He's like, yeah, it's tiny. And he goes, it fits me perfect. And the guy's like, like 5'8", and I'm 6'3", and so I feel like a bear on a unicycle, so
Hey, does
but
it get incredible gas mileage?
so it did get great gas mileage. Um, and ironically, he sold that bike and bought a Harley, and I was like, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to get a legit good adventure bike and
Yeah.
build it out, you know.
I think the idea of like the BDRs seems really intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like an adventure bike would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, the BDR is it's a fascinating thing to do. And then they've actually come out with some where with the BDRs where it's strictly because a lot of times it's going to be like you may have to hop on, a paved road for a little bit. They've actually released some of the BDRs where it's strictly just dirt. You'll never be on pavement.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
they're creating, I've heard kind of through the grapevine, talking with some different people, that they're trying to make the BDR, but all single track.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would be all for that. If they could
That
make a
would be
BDR
wild.
like a
BDR all
Utah,
single track. Wow.
yeah,
Oh, riding Utah would be wild because you'd go through so many different ecosystems.
yeah, yeah,
Like you get to
yeah,
southern Utah and
mhm,
you're like, I'm on a different planet, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So kind of a cool concept, but
Way cool.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I think about adventure bikes probably 3 or 4 times a week.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just don't, yeah. I need to, I don't know. I know nothing about them, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, for you and for all the people watching this, if you ever get a chance, get onto YouTube and look at. You're probably seeing this on YouTube, so whatever.
We're on YouTube.
Um, but get on and look up. Her name's Nora Lee, but she runs a YouTube channel called Itchy Boots, and it is the most fascinating adventure bike YouTube channel. Um, uh, she's from, I think, the Netherlands, and she's been traveling um, solo as a woman across the entire world on all these adventure bikes. She did a ride from the very southern tip of South America all the way up to the most northern part in like the Arctic Circle. And it took her months to do it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
forever.
just I was just like, that is so cool. But yeah, she did all this traveling and stuff like that. So if you get a chance, go check that channel out.
Itchy
That one,
boots. Huh.
Itchy Boots. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see if I can send you a link at some point here, but it is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I feel like where we live, there's so many cool spots you could go. Like, well, I mean, Idaho, I feel like is probably from what I've heard, like the best single track in the West. And I'd love to go up and ride there. Like,
yeah,
well, I mean, doing like dirt bikes, but then also doing some adventure bike stuff. Go through.
mhm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd be all for that.
I have a buddy,
Maybe,
John. I think he just got done with a adventure bike trip. He was showing like he did like a MTV Cribs tent edition. That's pretty funny.
that's awesome. That's way cool.
Dude, the dude's so funny. He'll do like karaoke all the time. It's incredible.
Dude, like all my is it like when he's riding and stuff?
I think he'll sing anytime. He'll sing at bars. Like they'll go to karaoke bars, but like yeah, when we're riding. One time, Cal and I were on. He's on the Tempest team, or his wife is,
Yeah.
and Cal and I started singing a song, and like grabbed Cal's zipper and just whoop, unzipped his car.
That's
It didn't
awesome.
sound that crazy, but like I'm like for that to like work out as slick as it did. Anyways, it was
Yeah.
funny, and he was
That's
there. He sang a lot with me, but
that's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I sing a ton
Do
when I'm
you?
riding. Oh, yeah, like so I use the Cardo system in my helmets,
Yeah.
um, snowmobile and dirt bike helmets. And so I'll be riding along and in a lot of like my videos, like you'll see me like all like my hands will be moving and stuff like that, from the camera and stuff. And it's like I'm dancing like to the music while I'm riding.
Okay.
And um I love music doing that stuff.
What's your
Abs
go-to? What's your go-to genre?
oh man. So I've had a lot of hate. I've had a lot of hate for this. But like dance music, like EDM. Um
Dude,
I
look, I'm singing like boy band stuff, so I can't make fun of anything you
so
say.
I but I I was singing some Katy Perry the
Oh
other day
yeah,
when I
yeah.
was riding with my buddy Mark.
Firework?
I no
Oh,
TGIF.
oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last Friday night. Yeah.
Last Friday night. Yeah,
California. Yep.
yeah.
That
Dude, I don't. There's, yeah, I like almost all music. Not a
yeah,
huge fan of like the screaming hard rock stuff, but
right.
some of the heavier
Right.
rap when they're just like swearing all the time doesn't do it for me. But
Yeah.
okay, like if you were gonna pick a
This
modern, this is
this
kind
will
of
this will prove like this is my playlist. It's
okay,
California Girls, Katy
yeah,
Perry, buddy.
yeah, featuring Snoop Dogg, dude. I love it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a story about Katy Perry really quick?
Yes, please.
I have a brother-in-law, and he was doing like he had a company where they would get invited to the Super Bowl all the time, and she was doing like a private performance for this group, and he was sitting in the front row of this like not in the front row of the concert, but like there's like a walkway, and he was the front row, and she came
Yeah.
up, and my brother-in-law is like he wears free T-shirts like and a hat, like that's his thing, right? So
Yeah.
he's dressed probably similar to how I'm dressed right now.
Yeah.
Um, and she comes up and she like starts singing right in front of him, and he just starts screaming like a girl at a boy band concert, and
Yeah.
Katy Perry just starts laughing and walks off.
That's awesome.
But he's just like freaking out. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, yeah, but yeah,
Dude.
I was just like, especially I come from him. Have you seen Christmas Vacation?
Oh yeah.
So, is it cousin Eddie or Uncle Eddie?
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
with like just a hat change. That's exactly what Paul looks like.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
That
not as much lately actually. I think he's lost some weight and he doesn't look like him anymore.
there you go.
But yeah, it like he went to a Christmas party dressed at him as Uncle Eddie. I was like,
That's awesome.
but
That's
yeah.
fun.
All right, going back to sleds because that's what I think about most of the time for building.
Yeah.
If you're gonna modern sled, another Gen 5. What year? What are you picking for that? I want to hear your pick.
So I think my go-to, since I already have a 165, I think
Yeah.
I would probably I'd go shorter. And that's why I'm really kind of looking at the 154s. So I think next build, Ski-Doo Gen 5 Turbo. Um
What year? That means a lot to me. I don't know why, but I know all
20
the changes that have happened, and people are like, "Oh, they didn't change anything." I'm like, "Man, they actually changed a bunch."
Yeah, I think I would probably, if I couldn't get my hands on a 26 for a reasonable cost,
Yeah.
I would probably go 25.
Yeah.
Um, I really love my 24, but I've set it up pretty substantially. So, uh, I think, I think if I went with a 26, having the narrower chassis, I think it's going to be crucial to, elevating my riding experience. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love the. I mean, I had a 23, right? So I didn't have a 24 or 25, but I felt like those all rode very similar. I rode them; they all felt about the same. My 26, I felt like I was able to ride it a lot better,
yeah,
and yeah. But I had the 154 last year, which was new for me.
it's awesome.
But
That's awesome. Did you know
um,
it's that big of a change between the 165 and 154?
yeah, I had a really hard time riding it at first. I wasn't sure that I liked it. It took me probably, I don't know. I feel embarrassed, but like 10 rides before I really started to like it. And now I'm like, well, I ordered another 154. I'm not 100% sold on it, but like, man, I think I'm getting there. I might be a 154 guy. What I think
Yeah,
I would love to do, and this would not, I mean, it would, but with a family, it wouldn't work. But have a full skid for 165 and
yeah,
track. And like, depending on what you see coming in the weather, you switch out tracks. I would like to try the 26 or 27 in the 165
yeah,
because like they don't climb as well. I will say that uh
yeah,
like I can't, like there's stuff I'm climbing, I'm like, oh, I can't do this, and it just starts to wheelie you up.
yeah.
You have to throw it into a side hill, but yeah, I don't know. I right now 154 guy,
Sure.
154, 155 guy. But so Gen 5, and you do like basically set it up. I need to have you help me with my suspension this year. I did nothing to mine last year. I was like in a weird mental space last year. I did nothing to my sled. I put um, handlebar risers, not risers, but like I shrunk my handlebars a little bit. I put ski rubbers in it, and that was all I did.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything else. I didn't. I don't know.
yeah.
But then I wrote it, and I was like, I don't know if I feel like it needs anything else. Oh, did we freeze? You lose Scott. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Oh, you there? Okay. Anyways, I like you were telling me about the stock suspension. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because the stuff I had off my 23 doesn't doesn't fit on my 26,
Yeah,
27. So I'm like,
yeah,
I need to talk to Scott about that.
yeah. You know, dialing in suspension is so unbelievably crucial for being stock suspension because and I get where, there's, the Fox shocks or Raptor shocks or any of these other ones where there's just like you just slap new stuff underneath it and then you go play. They take bigger hits, cool. But if you actually dial in suspension where you're getting proper transition between the actual skid and the snow and setting it up, it it makes
Oh no, we lost him again. I don't know.
the name of Buck Walsworth, and
Um,
he.
it froze. We
Uh,
missed most of what you said there.
oh, gee, what
You
the?
know what we should do?
Uh,
Let's do a video, and when I get my 26, and we'll set it up. Or
okay,
27. Although it's
okay,
anyways, the new rear skid will be interesting.
okay. Yeah,
Um, hey, my wife needs her Zoom back, but Scott, tell the people where to find you at, man.
yeah. So, a couple big places: YouTube, Scotty G Speed Shop.
Also, that'll all be in the description. Yeah, Scotty
Sweet.
G Speed Shop.
Yep, Scotty G Speed Shop. We're gonna be. I have like I keep videoing stuff, so I have like 10 videos I need to release. It's not just building stuff. I do a lot of riding. I ride with Ben. I ride with a bunch of different people. And then you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, and that's going to be Scott.Griffith539. So yeah, I'm out and about. So
Dude, thanks so much for doing this with us, and we'll have to
yeah,
get together and ride more. I'd like to ride more Colorado. I think that you should come ride more Utah,
yep,
and we should go ride New Mexico.
yeah.
I don't know why I said that. I don't really care to ride New Mexico unless there's a
Northern Actually,
case.
northern New Mexico and the comb brace is really good.
That's why I want it because I want to ride a place now called the Comb Brace.
Yep.
I rode a place called the Pigeon recently,
Awesome.
and that was
Perfect.
insane. I can't remember
Yeah.
how to say it, but yeah, the Pigeon.
Pijon.
Oh no, wait, no, it was. If I wouldn't have tried to think of it, I could have just said it. But yeah, I almost got stuck in it and couldn't get out
Um, Ew,
twice.
never good. Never good.
Hey, dude,
Well,
thank you
Ben,
so much for your time.
yeah,
Scott, like, dude, obviously, I love your stuff. Love what you're building. Love what you're doing. And
thank you.
I'm glad we're friends and that we can
Ab-
do stuff
abs-
together.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you reaching out and we doing this. I think we need to do this more often. And I would think I think there's a lot to talk about in our world of things that are coming up and things that need, that we can give others. So
Dude,
let's
let's
come
do
up.
more podcasts. I like it.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. And maybe next time I will interview you.
Ooh, me?
That's an
Oh, that'd be
idea.
fun. You know that I would tell you all my secrets, Scott.
Absolutely. Yes.
Um, there's a guys, Rhett and Link. They do like a comedy channel on YouTube,
Hmm.
and they did this hilarious one about mustaches, which I was hoping to ask you. Maybe like we have 2 more minutes. I just want to know why you decided to grow a soul patch.
So I used to have a mustache back in the day,
Yeah.
and I literally sneezed so hard that it ended up on my lower lip.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Enough said. All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Dude, you're awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
We'll,
Well,
we'll catch you later.
all right. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.